Am I the only one that's on video now? Close. Oh, there's everybody. My stream? Okay. I can't even hear you. You're on mute. Is everybody on mute?
Right back.
Mute.
Cool.
Hang on. Where's my video?
Hi, Raphael. How are you?
Hi, fine, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. We spoke on the phone a few months ago, right?
Uh,
Are you from
Probably
Portugal?
online.
Or are you from where are you from?
Puerto Rico.
From Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about doing a private lesson a few months ago or something to that effect?
I remember. I've been talking to so many people I can't remember.
Did you say you were like a personal trainer or something?
No, that must be somebody else.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Did you sign up for the workshop?
Yes, through the Facebook.
Through Facebook. So you saw a post there, but did you actually sign up for the seminar? I'm confused.
You had some link for today's class,
Right?
and I figured let me see. It was like, you know, you can be invited. You don't need to sign up for the whole program.
I don't know, Rosie. Can you address that question? I'm not quite clear. And just,
That's why I.
And if there's any confusion here, do you know what he's talking about?
No, I wasn't like tuning in. All I heard was he signed up through the Facebook.
Yeah, there is
So I shared the landing page on Facebook, and he clicked there, and now he's I think online with us. So he, yeah. So I don't know.
Oh, well, I thought you only shared it with your group, your private group.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's some confusion there. Yeah. No, I thought that was just. I thought that was the regular landing page that linked people into the workshop. Well, I'll tell you what, Raphael, it's really great to have you with us. So I'd love for you to stay and observe the class. Basically, the way it works is generally with auditors, there's a link to sign up there, and it's a paid class, and people sign up, and basically I send out monologues, and it's cold reads, so we just jump kind of right in. And then a couple of days before, I signed up a scene. But since there was some confusion, you're already on with us. You're welcome to stay today as my guest for free, and you can observe the class. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, great. Unfortunately, because we limit it to 8 people so that it's fair, so that everyone can get up to have time to work. But the next time that you sign up, I promise I'll get you up to work and everything, and you can follow the links, and there's a link to the PayPal and the price, and you can figure out all the details there. Sound good?
Sounds
I
good.
did forward that to you,
man.
but that's amazing that you're from Puerto Rico and you're you got this information, and you know I'm excited.
No,
that you're
I'm
here.
happy to see you here.
Well, I'm in Miami. I live in Miami now.
Oh,
But I saw it, you know, online on Facebook because I subscribe to all these acting websites and production stuff like that.
Did you tell me? Did you watch the video that was there, Raphael?
Yes.
Okay, great. Did you watch the whole thing, or just the first half? Or it's okay if you didn't.
First half.
Okay, good. So you saw the demonstration about the technique and the approach that we're working with then?
Yeah.
Fabulous. Okay, good. So we're gonna do a little review in a second. Let me just see if we have everyone. I see Matt's on there. Hi, Cindy. Hey, Matthew, Christy. Okay, great. Andrew's here. Rosie and Christy. I think that's everybody, right, guys? Yeah. Okay, I think we got everyone here. Fabulous. All right,
Hey,
cool.
George, really quick.
Yeah.
I didn't. There was no PDF in the email you sent me for the monologue. There was nothing there. So if you can.
Blank? Yeah, let me resend that to you. Sorry, Cindy.
It's okay. No worries. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, while I'm sending it to her, and you're gonna lose me on video for a second. Did everyone receive the monologues I sent a few minutes prior to the beginning of class? You're not supposed to look at them, but did you get them? If you look at them, it's okay. But I want to do it cold. So the monologues we do totally cold, and then the scenes, you know, I send out usually a day or two before.
I have not.
Did everyone receive those monologues?
I'm looking right now. Yep.
Nope.
Andrew, you didn't get anything?
Got it.
Nah, nothing.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, hang on.
I'll check my spam or something. We'll see.
Yeah, I know I sent you, I definitely sent you a monologue about 10 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago.
Maybe I'm- No, I'm not seeing anything.
Hmm. All right, that's fine. I'll just resend you something. Stand by.
Thanks.
There we go. All right, Cindy.
Oh, great, thanks.
There we go. Sorry, I couldn't find it. All right, so this should be a PDF.
Okay, got it.
Cindy Chavez. All right, sent. All right, and Christy, did you receive your monologue?
Got it.
Excellent.
Got it.
Matthew, did you receive the monologue? Uncle Traveling Matt, did you receive your monologue? Is he not there? Okay, no, I guess not.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Did you get it, Matt?
I did, yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks. Andrew, did you find it or no?
Nothing yet.
I'm good here, George. Thank you.
Okay, fabulous. All right, so I'm gonna resend you something right now, Andrew Walker.
Okay.
This turn.
Hey, Andrew, did you ever send a friend request to my not so famous acquaintance with the same name as you?
No, I didn't. I didn't
He'll
reach out.
probably accept it. He's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah.
He'll probably get a kick out of that. Did you get
Oh my
it?
God.
Did you get the monologue, by the way?
I don't know why. Yeah, nothing's showing up.
All right, I just sent it through. Maybe it hasn't gotten yet.
Yeah, like a minute.
Yeah, it's Arnie,
There we go.
PDF. All right, cool.
Dang
All
it.
right. Well, thank you, Leia. Okay, great. All right, guys. All right, how is everyone this morning?
Good.
Fabulous. And this afternoon for some of you. Let's just do a quick round the horn. Just everybody say hello. You know, a fun fact, introduce yourself, and you know, it's under 30 seconds, kind of like your name and a little bit about your acting background. Okay, and kind of what brought you here today. Just a little round robin. Let's see, Andy, why don't we start with you since I see you first on the screen?
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Andy. I started studying with George like earlier this year, back in January. I tried like an acting class before, like Meisner technique, but his was definitely the one that made the most sense to me, which is why I'm here. And that's all.
Awesome.
Okay, Cindy.
Hey, everybody. I'm Cindy. You guys can see my name on the screen. I used to train with George when he was in LA, and I miss his classes very much. So obviously I'm in LA. I do mostly television. I don't do as much film. Yeah, that's that. Just love the approach, love the freedom.
Thanks, Cindy. Raphael, why don't you unmute since I see you in the top right of my corner here.
Okay. Hi. I'm from Miami right now. I live in Miami. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I'm like the Renaissance man. I like to, I have many traits. So I'm a dentist currently, but I'm also a singer. I also write scripts, and I do stand-up comedy and acting now.
Oh, wow. All right. You're a
Nice.
dentist?
Yes, I am.
That's
So
really
right now,
cool.
Look at his teeth. You can't tell?
exactly. Right now I'm in furlough, so I haven't been working for the last 2 months. So we're supposed to go back again on May 11th. So let's see. But in the meantime, I already booked a lead for a film that's going to be filmed in-house with all the other actors in LA. I'm here in Miami, and it's called Through the Glass, and it's about two people who met through the glass window next to each other, the building, and that's how they connected.
Awesome.
Fabulous. Well, it's too bad you're not in LA. You'd have a ton of patients for dentistry over there. Half of the people I think online here are in Los Angeles. And Matt, you'd keep him busy because you got more teeth than anybody I know.
Well, I'm grinding them down, but yeah.
You need a night guard.
What's that?
You need a night guard.
I have one. I chew through them.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Thanks, Raphael. It's great to have you with us, man. You're fun. Cool. Matt, why don't you go ahead and take it away, sir?
Hi, I'm Matthew. George and I have been friends for Jiminy Christmas. How many? Like 15 years, I want to say. Probably something like that. And I took class with George when he was out here in LA. I've been acting for 35 years, professionally for 23 years, mostly theater in New York and then out of New York. I lived in New York for 20 years and now I live in LA. And yeah, done some film and TV and lots of plays, doing some writing. And yeah, I'm excited to be back in his class this morning.
I'm really excited you're here, man. This is going to be fun.
It'll be fun.
Okay, great. Thanks, Matt. Okay, let's see. Christy.
Okay. Hey,
Hi.
I'm in Atlanta, and I'm a newer actor. I am an entrepreneur at heart. That's been my background for 30 some years, and I got into acting to help me be a better public speaker, and ended up really enjoying it. So I'm here just to see what George has to teach. I've seen him posting things and sharing things on Facebook, and I'm interested. So
I'm really glad you're here. It's great to have you with
Thanks.
us. I'm excited. We're going to dig in. It's
Thank
going to be
you.
fun. Okay, terrific. Let's see. Patricia.
Hi, I'm Patricia. I wear a night guard. I'm sort of in the training part of my acting, and I worked with George. He came up to the Bay Area. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I really enjoyed that. And to be brutally honest, the virus brought me kicking and screaming to Zoom. Zoom is now, of course, my second home. So it's opened up all kinds of opportunities. And now that we are in quarantine, I have started my first round of submissions and self-tape hell. So I'm hoping by the time all of this is over that I'll be ready to hit the ground running. And I enjoy the freedom of George's classes. So here I am.
Thanks, Patricia. Okay, cool. Rosie, take it away.
I'm Rosie Cruz. I met a couple of you here and there. I am also an actress and a producer. Been acting, I don't even want to say how long. But yeah, George's class has been just fun, exciting. I love it. I love the process. It's in everything I do. And it's very challenging every week. So, you know, yes, that's it. Yeah. Ditto with what Patricia said.
You wear night guard?
Oh, except for, well, I wear rubber bands, not a
It's
night
an actor's tool, I think, the night guard. Anything,
guard.
all that stress.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, Rosie. Okay, cool. So I'll just talk quickly and I like to start every class with just kind of a little bit of a review of what the approach is. And the great thing about this class is like, it's kind of like, you know, just going to play tennis or pick up basketball. You just jump on the court and you start throwing stuff around. I purposely by design send material out a day or two before so that you're ready for anything, because it's really about trusting your instincts. It's not about over preparing or planning how you're going to do it, or not to say that you don't make choices. You can, but you don't have to even necessarily. The choices happen to you in the moment if you're really open and available to your instinct. It's about trust. It's really about trusting that you can walk out on stage or in front of the camera, and that knowing that you're already real and you're interesting and you don't really have to do anything except be. And within that, there's freedom and there's power, and it will open you up to a lot of possibilities of things that will happen to you if you leave yourself alone and leave yourself open without any kind of intellectual idea of how it's supposed to go. So I used to say in every class, just keep in mind before you do every scene, it's an exploration. There is no wrong and anything can happen. I've now modified that, and I think some of you saw me putting this in an email to the following. Especially if you've gotten a scene like most of you have had a day or two to work on it. It's never what you think it is, and anything can happen. Okay? It's never what you think it is going to be. You're not going to know what it is till you get there. You've been invited to a party. You don't know who's going to be there. Maybe you know a couple people in it and you don't know what it's going to be. So go in with an open mind and an open heart and have fun. And the surprise takes the burden of responsibility off of you, because whatever happens to you is usable. I want you to trust that everything that happens to you between action and cut is usable. It's what it's supposed to, it's what's meant to be. That is what is meant to be happening, because that's where you are. And where you are is essentially all you have. It's all you have. To think that you should be somewhere else is already a mistake, because you're getting into the left brain and not the right brain. You're getting into the analyzer and not the intuition and instinct and imagination. So we want to, now I'm not saying that some analysis isn't helpful, okay? It can be, it has its place, but it's way at the back of the train. It's in the back of the bus. It's not in the front. It's not in the forefront. And it's only there when you need it. Okay, if you're working well instinctually, you don't really need it. Now, what I like to do is start taking it off the page, like I demonstrated in, to many of you in videos, so that the first time, and like we're about to do momentarily in these monologues, and this is just a little warm up, we're going to dig into our scene. So we might not spend as much time today on monologues as some other classes that we've done, but it's a warm up so that you start just trusting your response to text and whatever it provokes in you in the moment. My teacher said there's only 2 rules. The first one is don't act, and the other is to always do what interests you in the moment. Matthew Floyd Miller, who's online with us today, he and I, Matthew is an acting teacher as well. He teaches Grotowski, which is a physical acting method. If anyone's in Los Angeles, I highly recommend doing it sometime. He's wonderful and it's extraordinary. It really opened me up physically to a lot of possibilities. Sure, as well. We were talking about doing a workshop at one point together, and the name of the workshop was "What Interests You?" What interests you? That could be a piece of behavior. It could be an object in your environment. In the scene, maybe it interests me to pick this up, and I play the scene into the paperweight on the desk instead of looking at the other actor. I don't know. What interests me? It could be a physical thing. It could be moving. It could be a piece of looking at something. It could be making the decision in the moment to just not say anything, even though you think you're supposed to speak, because we have an idea of how the scene's supposed to go as actors. In life, we don't plan, am I going to speak, not speak? Am I going to listen here? It's just happening to us, and we're following our instinct and going with it interests us moment to moment to moment to moment, like every moment you've ever lived in your lives. So we're seeing acting as a continuation of life. And the only thing I'm obligated to is what interests me in the moment, okay? I'm taking responsibility for the line and what interests me what that line provokes in me, wherever that takes me. And there is no wrong. Wherever that takes me, what does this line mean to you in the moment? Not what you think it should mean or what you think the character should be feeling or what you think the character should think. You can't use any of that. All you can go with is what it means to you. And by doing so, the play has a chance. The play then has a chance to be alive. Otherwise, if the writer was so predetermined of how every moment emotionally was supposed to be played, he wouldn't be writing a play or a screenplay. He would have been written a novel where he can have little adjectives and descriptions and categories and descriptions of every moment when the tear comes down on this side of the face at this moment as he looks at her lovingly and longingly in the eyes. Sounds like a bad romance novel, doesn't it? But you get the gist. That's what a novelist does. That's fiction writers. A screenplay or a play involves the actor. So you have to bring your instincts to that, right? And in doing so, it will be provoked by the writing because they're his words, because we don't change the dialogue that's given to us. So therefore, by this weird back of the brain unconscious process, 90% of the time, you'll actually end up, your instincts will lead you into an arena, an old ballpark of possibly what the writer may have had in mind. And if it's not, so be it. You can always take direction and there's always take two, okay? So we have our monologues. All you're gonna do is look down, take a breath, let it into your head, look up and say it. Whatever thoughts, feelings, images it conjures or provokes, you just say it without adding anything or showing me how you're feeling and thinking. If it makes you feel something, you feel something and you say it. If that makes you move physically, you move. If it provokes some behavior, it provokes some behavior. If you don't feel ready to say the line, then don't say the line. Wait until the wind hits your sails and see where it takes you, all right? Remember, everything that happens to you is usable. You're real and we're real. Lee Strasberg used to say in the song and dance exercise, you're real and we're real. You're real and we're real. Everything else is just an idea. You can't act ideas. You can only exist and live in the moment. And you're free. You're free. You're free. All right? This is real moment-to-moment work we're doing. It's the real thing, just like life. Who'd like to go first? And just a little parameters for those of you that are new to Zoom, which I think now the whole world has gotten a crash course in. If you're not working, mute your screen. When we do the scenes, it's voice activated and it'll look like watching a movie. It'll cut back and forth between the actors that are reading. It'll almost feel like you're in the same room together in some situations. It's cool. But please mute your screen. You can or cannot hide your camera. If for some reason you need to hide your camera, somebody walks in the room or you have kids or whatever, that's the beauty of Zoom. You can zoom in, zoom out, but try to stay focused and watch your fellow classmates during the next, couple of 2.5 hours here or 3 hours, however long we go. Try to stay focused. I know we're not all in the same room together and there'll be temptations and distractions are going to come in, but it's really, you're going to learn a lot today. Okay. All right, here we go. So I'm putting you in gallery view and I can nominate somebody or we have a volunteer maybe who'd like to explore a monologue first. Awesome. Thank you, Christy.
They're either married or gay. If they're not gay, they've just broken up with the most wonderful woman in the world. Or they've broken up with a bitch who looks exactly like me. We're in transition from a monogamy.
I just have to stop you for a technical thing. When you were speaking before, I heard you much more clearly and you sound very muffled on my end. Are you guys hearing that too? Yeah. Is there something different that you did with your audio did you plug in something or?
Well, I slid it down on maybe, can't do it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you, but it sounds a little distorted for some reason and like kind of muffled, almost like your hand's over the receiver.
That's so weird. How is that?
Say something?
Is that any better?
Mm-mm.
Not...
Yeah, no, it sounded great before when you did your little introduction. I heard you loud and clear.
Maybe if you've got headphones, it's kind of not the most ideal, but.
Yeah, maybe try putting headphones on, see if that makes a difference. Do you have headphones there?
Set my laptop on its towel. Let's see, is that any better?
A little bit, a little bit. It's getting warmer.
Well, I was using the other, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever you had before, if you can restore it to that, I think we're golden.
Is that any better?
Much better. Okay, here we go.
So it's picking up the other camera. So, okay. Oops. Got it.
Well, if you decide to use anything from this today, you can always crop it out, so.
Okay. All right. So they're either married or gay. If they're not gay, then they've just broken up with the most wonderful woman in the world. But if
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop you 1 second. Just make sure you're taking it off the page because your eyes can't be tracking and speaking at the same time. Your brain can't do two things. So
Okay.
just lift it off the page. You don't have to look at me. You could look at the chandelier. As long as your eyes aren't scrolling as you're speaking, because that interferes with the unconscious. And you need a moment to let the thought kind of into your head, and then you can kind of let it out. All right. You want to clock that thought quickly and then say it before you start watching yourself, before any judgment or self-criticism comes in. So it's the first instinct that you get, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
They're either married or gay. And if they're not gay, then they've just broken up with the most wonderful woman in the world. Or they've broken up with a bitch who looks exactly like me. They're in transition from a monogamous relationship, and they need more space. Or they're tired of space. But they just can't commit. Or they want to commit, but they're just afraid to get close. They want to get close, but you just can't get near them.
Say that again and put a period on it, okay? And take your time.
They want to get close. You just can't get near them.
Hold on a second. So we're brand new to each other, but I'm going to jump in with you really quick because I did watch all your stuff that you sent to me. So I like a lot of things about what you're doing. That was much better taken off the page, the technical part of it, much better. So I wanted you to slow that down. You slowed it a little bit down. The reason why I wanted to slow it down was so that you would let it in and just let it kind of land. You did, and then you said it and you sort of put it behind you. You kind of, even the way you said it was just like you were distancing yourself from the problem. I want you to stay with the problem a little bit. Does that make sense?
A bit.
Slow it down and just kind of don't flick it away, like, but they can't commit. It's let it in, take your time. Even if you got to slow it down enough, Christy, where you're saying like one word at a time. I don't care. This is an exercise, okay? We're just playing and just so that you stay open, okay?
Okay. From the top.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's take it from the top, please.
So they're either married or gay. And
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
they're not available to me. I just,
How do you feel though?
that makes me feel kind of lonely and sad.
Say it again right away.
Pardon me?
Say it again right away.
They're either lonely, they're either married or gay. They're either married or gay. And if they're not gay, then they've just broken up with the most wonderful woman in the world.
Good, Christy, good.
Or they've broken up with a bitch who looks just like me.
Good. Breathe into the next line. Breathe into.
They're in transition from a monogamous relationship. And they need more space. Or they're just tired of space. That they just can't commit. Or they want to commit, but they're afraid to get close. They want to get close, you just don't want to be near them.
Good. Is that it? Okay, great. Give it up. Give it up. I love all the mute claps on Zoom.
Applause.
The mute applause. Very nice. How'd that feel for you?
It felt a lot better once I got out of my head there.
Yeah. Now this is really hard. I threw something at you. I said, don't look at it. You had no time. You're totally exposed. People are watching you. I start with this because I think it's the hardest thing that there is to do, is to be in a completely exposed place as an actor. It takes a lot of guts. And I love that you just jumped right into it. I love that you wanted to go first, the whole thing.
I lost your sound.
Oh, I accidentally hit mute. Yeah. You can do this. Scenes are easy because half the response is coming from outside of you. You have time to look at it. But this is like, we're getting real fresh responses right from the beginning without knowing anything about who you're talking to, where you are, where you came from. You don't know anything, but you make the most important connection that there is to make, which is with that text and what each line independently means to you. And that's a great way. It's a great doorway in and key in to yourself and into the material. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We're going to keep playing. I'm really excited to have you with us. This was really good. This was good work. All right, cool. Well done. Thanks. All right. Who'd like to go next? Volunteers? Or should I call on somebody? Let's see. Love it. All right, Angie, go for it. Take it away.
Okay, just keep saying it over and over again, Jack. Like a mantra. Keep saying it. You know, you fit the profile exactly. In your 30s, house, kids, financial responsibilities. You start thinking. This isn't the life I dreamt about. Where's the romance, you know? Where's the joie de vivre? Suddenly, every lingerie ad in the Newark Star Ledger represents a life you can't have. All right, sometimes it feels like that. Feels like you gave up the whole world. I know that. But look what you got. Look at that. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a partially finished basement, and good kids. Look, you know what? You probably don't want to hear this right now. But remember last summer when I almost had that thing with Arnie?
Say that again. Say that again, and don't throw that line away.
But remember last summer when I almost had that thing with Arnie Jr.'s speech therapist? You remember what you said to me? You said, don't screw up the best thing in your life. Just because you're a little unsure of who you are. Okay? Go get him, Tiger. Go on, go get him, Tiger.
Good. So awesome, dude. I love that you took your time and you treated this like an exercise and not a performance. I think that was really smart. I gave you a little bit of a longer one because we've been working together for a minute, and I love that you just didn't. There was no performance pressure. You took it in pieces. We'll go through it again. There might be, now that you've been through it once, other moments. You know, you're a little familiar with the lines, and if you want to take more off the page at a time, feel free to do so. And if not, you know, you can take it in pieces. Again, just Brando used to say, just because you got a line doesn't mean you have to say it. Just because they called action doesn't mean you have to act. Start acting even.
Yeah.
It's really, again, it comes down to what I was talking about that Matthew and I talk about, is what interests you. And following that. And again, if you physicalize something, you did something really great at the end with about the tiger line, you took that back and you did something physical. I saw that, and it freed you up, right? So yes, we're going slow enough, just for everyone else to check in with me on this point. We're taking our time so we can let it mean what it means to us, right? But at the same time, we want to let it go. And if we get an instinct or an impulse, we want to do something physical, we're just kind of, I want you to get the feeling that we're just screwing around. And by doing so and kind of not caring, it's almost the opposite thing happens, that it makes it mean more to you. Because you give yourself the permission to let it sort of mean nothing, it could mean something. But if you try to make it mean nothing, then you're just going to flatten the line and make it dull and dead, and you'll just rush through it, and you'll be bored, and then we'll be bored. And then some actors are like, well, I'm just taking it one line at a time. And is this boring? And it's like, well, I don't know. My teacher used to say, if you're bored, yeah, you probably are boring. Then do something about it. You know, take a look at that line and ask yourself that question, like, what the hell interests me about this line? What could interest me? What does this bring to mind? Or what could it that excites me, that I can wrap my gut around, you know, or that's fun? That would be fun to do. So it's not about trying to be interesting. It's about being interested.
Yeah.
I think Jane Fonda actually said that. You're in the 60s or something. It was a thing. They always would say that at the Actors Studio. I'd hear them say that. And they quoted Jane Fonda, of all people. I think of Jane Fonda, I think of protesting and like aerobics, but she said, that's a pretty brilliant thing. She said, I want you to be interested and not interesting.
Right.
Okay. So let's go through it again. We might not get through the whole piece because I gave you a little bit of a longer one, but let's go through it again. Okay, Andy?
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you. Just keep saying it over and over again. Jack. Like a mantra. Keep saying it. You know, you fit the profile exactly. In your 30s, house, kids, financial responsibilities.
Take it off the page. Good. Take it off.
You start thinking, this isn't the life I dreamt about. What? Where's the romance, you know? Where's the joie de vivre? Suddenly every lingerie ad in the Newark Star Ledger represents a life you can't have. Ooh. All right. Sometimes feels like you gave up the whole world. Sure. I know that. But look what you got. Look, dude. Look at that. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, you know? A partially finished basement. It's coming. And good kids. Good kids. Look. You know what? You probably don't want to hear this right now, but remember last summer when I almost had that thing with Arnie Jr.'s speech therapist.
Say that again. Just let it go. Just let it go, Andrew.
Remember last summer when I almost had that thing with Arnie Jr.'s speech therapist? You remember what you said to me? You said, don't screw up the best thing in your life. Just because you're a little unsure of who you are.
Say that again. Don't screw up the best thing in your life.
You said, don't screw up the best thing in your life. Just because you're a little unsure of who you are.
Cool. Is that it?
Okay?
Oh, okay, good. Good job, Andrew. Give it up. Give it up. Okay, man. Cool. So again, remember, we're just playing around. We're screwing around. It's light. It's easy. Anything can happen, right? You are where you are, and you go where you go, and you don't worry about where you go. Just go with whatever interests you in the moment, wherever it takes you, emotionally, physically, etc. I'd like to go next. Cindy, Patricia, Rosie, Matthew. Okay, cool. Cindy.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
I want to pin somebody. I don't like the gallery view. Hang on. I'm going to pin you, George. All right. Well, we weren't married to 9 to 5 guys. But the first time I realized how different it was when Mickey had a hostess party. They had bad skin and wore too much makeup. I mean, they didn't look very good.
Good. Go back to they had bad skin and stay with it before you go back down for the next line. Okay. Don't rush down to the page.
They had bad skin and wore too much makeup. I mean, they didn't look very good. They looked beat up. And the stuff they wore was thrown together and cheap. A lot of pantsuits and double knits. And they talked about how rotten their kids were and about beating them with broom handles and leather belts. But that the kids still didn't pay attention. After a while, it got to be all normal.
Say that again.
After a while, it got to be all normal.
Anything come to mind?
Acceptance that this is just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
None of it seemed like crimes. It was more like Henry was enterprising and that he and the guys were making a few bucks, hustling, while the other guys were waiting on their asses, sitting on their asses, waiting for handouts. Our husbands weren't brain surgeons. They were blue-collar guys. The only way they could make extra money, real extra money, was to go out and cut a few corners. We were all so very close. I mean, there were never any outsiders around. Absolutely never. And being together all the time made everything seem all the more normal.
Go back to we were all so close. Let that in.
We were all so very close. I mean, there were never any outsiders. Absolutely never.
Interesting.
And being together all the time made everything seem all the more normal. That's it.
Good. Let's go through it again. And yeah, you're getting a lot of stuff from this. This is good, Cindy, but just be careful of traveling a little bit, right? We talked about that in last class. You know what I mean by that?
Like going ahead, getting ahead of myself.
Yeah. In basketball, you know, people stop dribbling the ball. They just start running down the court and they stop dribbling and they call the ref whistles and says 2 points for traveling, you know, or whatever.
Okay.
You make them go back. And sometimes the problem is your instincts want to do that, but you don't know the Pisha because I just gave it to you. So you can't know what you don't know. So your mind knows your body is getting this and the thought is making me want to go with it. And that's great. But then you still got to grab that line and really like let it in. If you're going too fast or you're traveling, it takes you out of the thoughts that you're in right now. So you can't really fully mean what you mean. So you go in and out of the moment as a result of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And we might, again, I might stop you and do a little talk through like we were just doing again. If I do, it doesn't necessarily mean there's anything bad or you did anything wrong or it's not good or anything. We're just kind of exploring and maybe digging a little deeper and letting things in and just slowing it down and seeing what comes up. I don't know what's going to come up and you don't know. And that's the beauty of it. We're just pulling things apart and we're exploring. And whether it be with me or whether it's in the audition or whether it's on stage or on performances or in front of the camera, I want you to go in there and explore and go in and be like, I don't know where I'm going. This is free and it's fun. And I'm going to see what happens. This is my jam. We're like musicians that are jamming, but without changing the notes. And the notes are the lines.
Right.
Here we go. Here we go.
Okay. Well, we weren't married to 9 to 5 guys. But the first time I realized how different it was when Mickey had a hostess party. They had bad skin and wore way too much makeup. I mean, they didn't look very good.
Well, I'm going to stop you. You're doing great. So do you do any accents at all, Cindy?
I do. Well, I do a pretty Texan and Texan Southern. I have done New York, but that was for a play that was years ago, so I haven't. New York, I'd have to practice a little bit.
You do the Texan pretty well.
Yeah, I can do the Texan.
Try. Let's try that.
Okay. Well, we weren't married to 9 to 5 guys. But the first time I realized how different it was when Mickey had a hostess party. They had bad skin and wore too much makeup. I mean, they didn't look very good. They looked beat up.
Yeah, the accent's great, but I know one thing about Texas is nobody sounds like they're in a rush to say anything or go anywhere. So slow it down.
Okay. Okay.
But like,
From the top or from where I was?
you pick it up from where.
And the stuff they wore was thrown together and cheap. A lot of pantsuits and double knits. And they talked about how rotten their kids were and about beating them with broom handles and leather belts, but that the kids still didn't pay attention. After a while, it got to be all normal. None of it seemed like crimes. It was more like Henry was enterprising and that he and the guys were making a few bucks hustling, while the other guys were sitting on their asses waiting for handouts. Our husbands weren't brain surgeons. They were blue-collar guys. The only way they could make extra money, real extra money, was to go out and cut a few corners. We were all so very close. I mean, there was never any outsiders around. Absolutely never. And being together all the time made everything seem all the more normal.
Okay, really nice. That's so that was fun.
I was-
So yeah, no, that was great. I could see it. Sometimes like there was nothing wrong with what you were doing before, but it just popped into my head that it would be fun to play with because I like dialects can really free you up.
Yeah.
This is the way you talk, so you feel like I'm free now. It doesn't matter. It's not me anymore. It's sort of the character, and that can actually free your instincts. It's still going to be you anyway, but at least it's a little brain trick. Also, this is from Goodfellas.
Yeah, I knew it was about the mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you said that about your New York, I was like, I want to have attention on doing the accent. That's not the point. The point of the accent is to free you, not to confine you. But it's also really cute. Actually, this is a terrific monologue for you. I think
Thanks. I really like it, actually.
yeah, and you were really, really funny in it. And yeah, it was really nice job. Great work, Cindy. Good job.
Oh, thank you, George.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, good job. Give it up. Give it up. Okay, who'd like to go next on the hit parade? Who's next on the hit parade here? Matthew.
I'll do it.
Let's do it.
I agree with Cindy. I don't want gallery view. I'm going to pin you, George.
Go for it.
Sammy, you're right. I should have done something when your mom got kicked up. I told the officers that I knew her. and she was a good person. I told her to go with them and that I'd look after you. What I should have done is told them that I loved her. That she's the best thing to happen to me in a long time. That I don't deserve her. I mean, it wouldn't have changed what happened, but she would have heard it. It might have made her less scared. And it would have proved that I'm a better man than I clearly am.
Where do you feel that in your body, Matthew?
The last one?
Yeah.
My throat, my stomach.
Good. Say it again.
And it would have proved that I'm a better man than I clearly am. So this is me learning from my mistakes. You're such a great kid, Sammy. And that's been hard for me because I used to have a little boy. And it's taken me a minute to realize that it's okay to be sad about him. And to care about you at the same time. But it is. I do care. A lot. Let me see what I can do.
Beautiful. Give it up. Give it up. Good. How'd that feel for you, Matt?
Oh, it's so nice to do this. It's so nice to like dive in without knowing and feel naked and like, you know, go, oh, fuck. and to just like you said, because there's no obligation, you're free to, your emotional life is free to go, just go wherever it wants to go. It's like, okay, it's going to go over here. It's going to go over there. It wants to go here. It wants to go there. Oh, there's something that needs to be said. Oh, it lets us.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's let it breathe because you got a big scene we're going to get to with you today. But I thought that was a really nice exploration. Left yourself alone, took your time. And then when it really, you know, obviously when it got to the end, you took even more time and you were letting everything in, and it was really beautiful. So, and yeah, I thought your instincts were just really like lining up nicely. You know, obviously if we went through it again, you know, certain things would come faster and whatever, but you know, but we know that. I like this monologue actually for you. I think it's a real nice piece.
What is it from?
It's from some pilot that I actually auditioned for when I was in LA, and he's a cop, and this child's mother, she was Iranian, was taken away by ICE officers, and you've been dating her, and you know, you showed up when ICE was taking her away, and you're a police officer, but there was nothing you could do to stop them, I guess.
Mm.
And now you're like looking after, you live in the same building. It all takes place in one building. And you're looking after this child. It was for NBC. It was like a This Is Us, but in a building type of thing. That's like the new, you know, everyone loves This Is Us. So like all the pilots now are trying to be like This Is Us that NBC is producing with like these family themes and just really beautiful, beautiful show. Anyway, did you ever see that? Have you watched This Is Us at all? Have you ever seen it?
I know of it, and I think I've seen some clips on YouTube.
Yeah, the first couple of seasons were phenomenal. They're really good. Did you go to school with what's his name, Randall?
Sterling Brown.
Sterling
I know
Brown?
Sterling a little bit. I met Sterling a couple times.
Yeah, right. Because I know Tori knows him really good. He's really good on the show. He's a terrific actor. He was great on Mrs. Maisel also. If you see him, it's a
Oh
totally
yeah, I just finished watching that the other day, and he's terrific on this.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy. I met him once. He was super nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Tori's like his personal assistant or something, isn't she?
Tori Andrews or Tori Marks? I was talking about Tori Andrews.
No, I'm thinking wrong person. There were one of another NYU person, your former students, was his personal assistant. What's her? She got pregnant. She was married to the Hispanic.
Oh, yeah, Natalie. Right. Yeah. Because she went there with Sterling, right? They were, I think, in the same class at NYU. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, that's cool. I didn't know that she worked for him. I knew they were friends, but I didn't know.
Yeah. I don't know if she does
Cool.
that, but she did.
Who'd like to go next? Trisha, Rosie?
Well, I'll go.
For it.
Okay. Let me see if I can.
I liked your monologue slate for the Erica Bream thing that you said this isn't an insane asylum. She was in this room with all the soundproofing. She goes,
just so everybody sees, it looks, yeah. And I realized in the moment, I go, oh, this looks like a rubber room, you know, it's all padded. Anyway, we just put this together not too long ago.
That was a smart thing to do in a slate shot. It was funny. It got my attention. And it was what was really going on in the moment. All right, here we go.
Okay. We are afraid, you and I. We're terrified people.
We're what?
We're terrified people.
Go back to the first line. What's the first line?
We are afraid, you and I.
Put a period on that.
We are afraid, you and I. We're just terrified people.
Good. Breathe.
Many people aren't as terrified as we are. They slip through life without concerns or wants. They don't worry about what they know, but instead, they purchase things. And they eat up every new TV program.
Hold on. I think you're trying to bite off a little more than you can chew. Just take it, even if it's just a couple words at a time, Rosie. Slow it down. I like they bite. Sorry. Just go back to that line that you just said.
They don't worry about what they know, but instead they worry about, they purchased things and.
See, the reason why you're changing the lines is because you're going too fast. You see that? That's
All right.
That's what that means. So no big deal. That was better though. Go back again.
They don't worry about what they know, but instead they purchase things and they eat up every new TV program.
Good, breathe.
These people are happy and perhaps we should be more like them, but we're not. And no one can control the weather. Try as we might, we're only these creatures with two legs, maybe a soul.
What was that line again? Try as we not.
Try as we might,
Yeah.
we are only these creatures with two legs, maybe a soul, some of us a god. All of us hearts beating until they don't. And I'll stay here with you because it is what I want. I think it is what you want too. And we will work towards some design, perhaps, or maybe just screw. But either way, I will be happy for more than a few moments. And maybe someday when we're old, we'll sit holding hands, looking out a window at the snow falling.
Good. Is that it?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Good. All right, let's go back to the beginning, go through it again. And just keep taking it in pieces and let yourself be wherever you are and let it take you where it takes you. And don't feel the need to say the line unless you feel, like I said, you feel the wind hit your sails. I heard Dustin Hoffman say that he watched De Niro taking off the page once, like in a movie. I don't know. I think they did it right at the last second, but he was on the witness stand and he had it, and he just looked down and he looked up. He said, "Just give me a moment. Don't cut." And then he felt ready to say it, and he just said it. Sometimes you want to look at it and say it right away before you start watching yourself. You don't want to sit on that instinct. But he needed a moment to let it in so it could mean what it meant to him. And he was afraid they were going to cut the camera. Because he just got the material. So he gets us on his time. So I know you're going slow right now. You could take even more time and just at the same, so that you can really let it go. And just let it be whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead from the beginning.
We're afraid, you and I. We're terrified people. You know, many aren't as terrified as we are. They slip through life concerns or wants. They don't worry about what they know, but instead they purchase things and they eat up every new TV program. Well, these people are happy. And
how do you feel about that? Eating every new TV program.
Oh, how do I feel about that? I can't describe the words. What's the words?
We'll just say it again. Just talk to me right from where you are, where you're touching your head like that. Just say it.
Right.
Right where you are.
They don't worry about what they know, but instead they just purchase things and they eat up every new TV program.
Yeah, now you're free. That's nice. Mm-hmm.
These people are happy, and
they're what?
These people are happy.
Tell me about it.
And maybe we should be more like them.
Maybe.
But we're not. And no one can control the weather.
What did you think about with that line?
Is it was just an example of things that just aren't in our control. So it's just kind of like this random thing that I pulled and I looked at outside. You know, it's like we can't do that. It's, you know, just letting you know more.
Say it again. Yeah. Right from where you are, just say it.
No one can control the weather. Try as we might, we're only these creatures, you know, with 2 legs and maybe a soul. Some of us, God. All of us with hearts that are beating until they're not. And I'll stay here with you because it's what I want. I think it's what you want too. And we'll work towards some design, perhaps, or maybe just screw. But either way, I'll be happy for a few moments. Maybe someday when we're old,
Breathe.
so holding hands and looking out the window with snow falling.
Oh, good job. Okay, great. Give it up. Good, really nice. You know, part of when having you go back over the line, not only is it just about exploring what does the line mean to you, but it gets you really talking to me. And then when you go back to the line, you have that communication still in with me that doesn't drop out. Part of it is we get the monologue and we're talking and we're all getting to know each other in class. And then we feel like, all right, I don't know what I'm going to do now. And I get in this mode of like taking off the page. And we make taking off the page and like this technique. It's really not a technique. It's just a logical way to start exploring. But wherever you were before is usable. So it's so great when you just start from where you are and let that communication be there with whoever you're talking to, whether that be your acting coach or your scene partner or the other actor on set or your stage hand off stage, you know, and just kind of let life bleed over the margins in the page. Let it kind of inform the work. And because every time I had you stop and talk and then you went back and you just went right into it, I just saw Rosie talking to me. And it was free and you were on your instinct. I don't know if you heard me, I even said it. I said, now you're free. But removing those little barriers that get in the way. And this is tough again, because look, if I gave you the scene yesterday, this would be a lot easier. We're doing that by design so that from the very first time you can trust your instincts and you trust yourself, not act, leave yourself alone, totally free, totally alive, but really be in communication with somebody that you're talking to, whether it's me, the camera, really have that relationship. Okay, great. Patricia, you're up. Good job.
So many things put me on edge all day long. I look out the window and I get nervous. I read a book and it drives me crazy. I turn on the TV and then I have to turn it off again right away. I sit down. I stand up. I sit down again. I've tried crocheting and knitting and sewing. I've played classical piano, made clay pots, built towers from popsicle sticks. but none of it helped. It all made me crazy. Cooking calms me. Especially cooking for someone like you. So serene. How do you do it? That's it.
Good. Good. Let's go through it again. How'd that feel?
Okay. Kind of in and out, but yeah. Okay.
Okay, good. What's the first line?
I don't know. Something. So many things put me on edge all day long.
How do you feel about that?
Anxious.
Right away, say it again. Just talk to me.
So many things put me on edge all day long. I look out the window and I get nervous. I read a book and it drives me crazy. I turn on the TV and then I turn it off again.
Mm-hmm. Anything come to mind? I read a book and it drives me crazy.
Sorry, say that again.
When you said that line, I read a book and it drives me crazy. Anything come to mind?
Yeah, I have problems reading for the last 5 years. I read a book and it drives me crazy. I turn on the TV and then I have to turn it off again right away. I sit down, I stand up, I sit down again.
Okay.
I've tried crocheting and knitting.
Hold on. So I know that the line, I sit down, I stand up, I sit down, I stand up again, it wants to take you like through it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That's your analyzer. That's you looking at it and starting to direct yourself because you were really on your instincts with that. Go back over that because that's not where you actually were just now.
No.
So go back over that. Do you guys know what I mean by that when I say that? Something happens, we look at a line as actors. Most actors are really intelligent in my experience. And we look at a line and we start to immediately have an idea of kind of how to play it or what to do with it. And Patricia's a very experienced and really smart actor. And so she looked at it and she had kind of like and she went, I sit down, and it was fine. It was totally usable, but it's not where she just were. And the whole point is getting you and keeping you where you were. When you went back over the thing about reading, that was friggin' real. And it affected you. And I was like, I felt it. So go back to the thing about the TV, take it from there.
I turn on the TV and I have to turn it off again right away. I sit down. I stand up. And I sit down again. I've tried crocheting and knitting and sewing. I've played classical piano, made clay plots, built towers from popsicle sticks. But none of it helped. It all made me crazy. Cooking calms me.
You like to cook?
No.
Say the line right away.
I'd have to act like I like to cook.
So then, listen, if that's what's really going on, then that's what you say. Even though the line seems opposite to that, that's what's really happening in your exploration. You got to let that up. Otherwise, we just read that you're faking it.
Okay.
I mean, there's a million ways you could have said that and have been truthful with where it could have came out from where you were, which is like, yeah, I really like to cook, you know, love to cook. Oh, I like to cook. Yeah. I don't like to cook. You know what I mean? I don't know. If that's where you are, that's where you are. It doesn't have to all make sense right now.
Cooking calms me.
Uh-huh.
Especially cooking for someone like you. So serene. How do you do it? What's that?
All right, good job. Give it up. Okay, cool. That was great, guys. So listen, we got a lot of stuff we're gonna get to with scenes. We're gonna take a little, like a 5-minute break. It's 5 to 12 your time. Grab a drink of water, a snack, whatever. If you want to graze throughout the scenes, keep some food close by, go for it. Also, if you guys want to move your cameras, I don't know if you have like locations, your apartments or anything. I want to start doing it with these weekly classes that the way Christy has it, where she's kind of got her backdrop already preset, or if you have a wall, because you never know, something great might happen. Last week or 2 weeks ago, Patricia and Andrew did a scene from Boogie Nights that kicked ass, and like they could have both, I think, used it on like as a demo reel. The work was so freaking good. You probably might even still be able to, just because the work was so damn good. But it's nice if you've got like, you know, even lighting, a wall. Like I couldn't use it, but let's say if I were in my place and I went like this, I might be able to use this. It'd be better if I had a different color maybe, but at least it's not white, you know. So if you have a way to reconfigure it and still keep some light on your face for your scenes, it might be nice for you, and it communicates what they see in the self-tape and what they see in the audition room. And you know, there might be a way for you to use it at some point. You never know. But I want to start documenting so that not only is this a learning tool, but you guys might even get some materials you can use for marketing purposes and submitting yourself. Because what happens between this frame, that's all that matters, is seeing you, your heart, your spirit, your instincts, your soul. When they see that, it bypasses the company you paid to shoot your demo reel and all that. It's like, yes, we want beautiful materials, but an actor's an actor. You're gonna have to do it 1,000 more times. So if you can't be on your instincts every time, like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? You're eventually gonna have to do that when you get the job. So let's just think about that in mind. If you can't do it today, no problem. But moving forward, I think it's something good to think about. Make sense? Cool. All right. Okay, guys. I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you in 5 minutes. Okay. All right. Here we go. Rock and roll. Good, Matt. That looks good.
Been self-taping in here. It's tricky when it's midday because you got to put stuff behind the curtain to keep the sunshine from.
What color is that curtain behind you? Gray?
Yeah, it's like a gray, with kind of white stitching in it, white
Mm-hmm.
stitching in it. Little texture.
Do you have a different color shirt? I love that color, but it looks like they're so close in color that, you know what I mean?
The shirt looks close to that?
Kind of. I mean, they're different colors, but something that contrasts with the gray, maybe.
Right, well, this is like salmon, the kind of a
Guys,
salmon.
I'm working in here. Excuse me.
I'll show you.
One second.
I guess I gotta put something on that would be more contrasting.
I think that's, yeah.
What was that?
Sorry about that, guys. All right.
Switch
Cool.
straight
So
up.
who'd like to go first with our scenes here? Any volunteers?
Oop.
Well, it looks like I don't know if Rosie and Krista are back yet. So I guess that really only leaves two options. That would be Cindy and Patricia, right?
Okay. Hear that. Again.
Nominated. Sorry.
Oh, I
What am I
can't.
doing?
Maybe you can eat in the scene.
Nah. Not
The Brad Pitt School of Acting.
okay.
He's always eating.
Sorry, I just gotta put this somewhere where my cats won't eat it.
Brad Pitt eats through all his scenes.
No, there was a silly video I saw on YouTube once that like he's always eating or he's always doing physical. He likes physical things. I think he's even talked about it, but yeah, he likes to eat on camera and he likes when he can do some like behavior, but he loves eating or he's chewing on something or
Right.
drinking something or
Helps him not think about his acting.
yeah, it distracts
That's
his brain.
Meisner.
Yeah.
All right.
He studied with a guy named Roy London in California.
All right. Yeah.
Weird though, when he talks about acting, everything he says is the opposite of what that guy taught. That guy taught the complete opposite of Harold Guskin. It was all about thinking. Thinking he wanted to have a verb for every single line. And you had to call out your verbs while you were working. Like you'd be rehearsing and you'd be like, to cajole, to seduce,
Right.
to da-da-da. And he wanted, every line was set. It was like all thinking and planning. Brad doesn't do any of that. Okay.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna put you guys in speaker view and everyone else just make sure you're muted.
You and Paul are getting along like gangbusters.
You're sleeping with him, aren't you?
What?
Sorry, let me mute.
Just be honest with me, okay? Don't make me feel crazier than I already feel right now.
Where is this coming from? I don't know. What?
Found your hair in this drain.
Because I was working and I got dirty and I took a shower.
Yeah. Did you take a nap too? Are you in love with him?
No.
Are you straight now?
No, it has nothing to do with that. I've just felt so far away from you lately.
Oh, right. So it's my fault.
No. Who said anything about fault? Just listen to me.
I'm listening. What?
I needed.
What? To be fucked?
No. To be appreciated.
Oh, well, it's always what I'm not doing for you, isn't it? Well, okay. Here's what I don't do for you. I don't work out my issues by fucking other people.
He's not just other people.
No, He's our sperm donor. You couldn't have picked a more painful way to hurt me.
Where are you going?
I need water. Oh, shit. Shit!
I gave this to you a long time ago, right, Patricia? Have you ever done this scene before or no?
It feels familiar. I don't know if it's the scene I did with Sarah.
I know I've given it out a couple of times. I love this scene. It's from our
I know the scene. It's a great scene. I've never done it, but I know the
yeah,
scene.
you know, yeah, I like them. I just thought this movie was like really great.
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black or something, possibly.
No, it's from The Kids Are All Right.
Let's see it.
Yeah, it's a really good independent film. Really, really great. Annette Bening, I think, and Julianne Moore play these characters. Okay, good. So that was a nice first time through. Let's do it again. And just make sure that you're staying with each other when the other person's talking. Don't sneak a peek in your script for your line or their line. Just stay with them. Let that moment fully play out. It'll create a strange pause that probably wouldn't be there in real life. But remember, the thing that brings you down to the page to grab your next line is your need to respond. And the thing that brings you up off the page is your need to communicate. So it's all coming out of your instincts. It's not like, oh, well, shit, it's my turn to speak now, so let me look down. It's because I want, so that you stay in it. So there's no disconnect when you go down to the page, okay? That's just a technical thing. I like the way you both are working. I think it looks free, loose, not acting. Just keep trusting yourself. We're going to do another take. I want you to explore. Just remember, anything can happen. Now that we've gone through it once doesn't mean the same thing's going to come up. All right? So let's see what happens. We'll do it again. We're going to work this. Whenever you're ready.
You and Paul are getting along like gangbusters.
You're sleeping with him, aren't you?
What?
Just be honest with me, okay? Don't make me feel crazier than I feel right now.
Where's this coming from? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
I found your hair in the string.
Because I was working and I got dirty and I took a shower.
Yeah? Did you take a nap too? Are you in love with him?
No. No.
Are you straight right now?
No. It has nothing to do with that. I felt so far away from you lately.
Oh, right. So it's my fault.
No. Who said anything about fault? Just listen to me.
Oh, I'm listening. What?
I needed.
What? To be fucked?
No. To be appreciated.
Well, it's always what I'm not doing for you, isn't it? Well, okay. Here's what I don't do for you. I don't work out my issues by fucking other people.
He's not just other people.
No. He's our sperm donor. You couldn't have picked a more painful way to hurt me. I need water. Oh, shit. Shit!
What's your good, Cindy? What's your line right before you said she asked you if you love him and you say no? What did she ask you right before that, or what do you ask her, Patricia?
Oh yeah, it was a long pause because I actually didn't realize it was my line. I say, yeah, did you take a nap too? And then I say, are you in love with him?
Did you take a nap too? That's the line.
No, it's the line is,
Are you in love with him?
yeah.
What do you ask before that?
I respond to her, she was working and got dirty. So I say, yeah, did you take a nap? And then it's my next line. Are you in love with him?
And then what do you say after? Are you in love with him?
I say no. That's my response.
And then what does she say?
Say, are you straight now?
Ah, and you say no. So why do you think you did it, Sydney? We don't usually ask these kind of questions. They're very like thinky. But why do you feel you did it? That's a better question to ask. Why do you feel you did it?
Well, there's many reasons. I'm lonely.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for affection. I was looking to be seen. I was looking to be heard. And I'm attracted to him. Doesn't mean that I'm straight now. There's always been something there. But I don't know. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I did it exactly. Yeah.
Made you feel alive.
Made me feel, yeah, that rush again. I mean, also part of this is having a kid in the first place. Having a baby changes everything.
So let's go through it again and we'll just see what happens and where it happens. But I just want you to keep yourself open to the possibility of two possibilities in this scene. And wherever they carbonate is where they bubble up. One is that it made you feel alive. And therefore, maybe she drove you into the arms of another man. And then the other is that you don't want to lose her. And you don't want to ruin your life and your family. And, you do feel bad. So now that seems like two conflicting pieces of direction, and they are.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on. And here's the trick to this, and this is really important. I want everybody to listen to this because this is a massive piece of acting tech. I had a teacher named Gene Frankel who was a genius. Harold Guskins, that was a directing student of his. And Gene said that every scene, there's ambiguity. The characters are ambivalent. On one hand, they want something, and then they want the complete opposite thing at the same time. But as the actor, you can't play both of those things. You can't play both sides of the coin at the same time. All you can do is flip the coin and then flip it again.
Right.
And then flip it again. You can't play both simultaneously because actors will look at a scene and they get confused. He also said great actors do not erase contradictions of character. Instead, they willingly embrace them. So whenever I'm exploring a piece of material and there seems like there's a contradiction there, that's gold. It's money in the bank. Money in the bank. Where it happens, I don't know. That's what the moment will dictate. Just be open to that possibility, Cindy, as you're going through the scene. Okay. And for you, Patricia, as well, there's a lot of duality and ambiguity as well. Maybe you want to throw her out in the street. I don't know. At the same time, maybe you don't, as soon as you decide you throw her out, there's the, don't leave me, please come back. I can't live without you. They write songs about this stuff, don't they? for a reason, because that's real life. So there's that. And where that happens for you again is going to be provoked by the lines of the material. Don't decide it. It'll be there if you leave yourself open to it. Okay, but just know that it's in there somewhere. Okay, let's go through it again.
You and Paul are getting along like gangbusters.
You're sleeping with them, aren't you?
What?
Just be honest with me, okay? Don't make me feel crazier than I feel right now.
Where's this coming from?
Well, I found your hair in this drain.
Because I was working and I got dirty and I took a shower.
Yeah? And did you take a nap too? Are you in love with him?
No. No.
Are you straight now?
No.
Ask her that again, and don't be so quick to respond necessarily, Cindy. Ask her that.
Are you straight now?
No.
Go back even further to, are you in love with him?
Are you in love with him?
No. No.
Are you straight now?
No. It has nothing to do with that. I've just felt so far away from you lately.
Oh, right. So it's my fault.
No, who said it had anything to do with fault? Just listen to me.
I'm listening. What?
I needed.
What? To be fucked?
No. To be appreciated.
Oh.
Say that again, Cindy. Say that again.
No. To be appreciated.
How you feel about that, Cindy? How'd you feel about that line?
Angry.
Okay, then that's what we want to see. All right, say it again. Ask her the question again. Patricia, go back.
What? You want to be fucked?
No. Appreciated.
Well, it's always what I'm not doing for you, isn't it? Well, okay. Here's what I don't do to you. I don't work out my issues by fucking other people.
He's not just other people.
No. He's our sperm donor, and you couldn't have picked a more painful way to hurt me.
Where are you going?
I need water. Oh, shit. Shit.
Okay, good. Good. Let's do it again and let's let it rip. Just let it flow. You know, if it comes faster and the dialogue overlaps, if there's going to be moments, pauses, and stillness, there'll be moments of stillness, but anything can happen. All right. Here we go. Ready? And action.
You and Paul are getting along like gangbusters.
You're sleeping with him, aren't you?
What?
No. Just be honest with me, okay? Don't make me feel crazier than I feel right now.
Where's this coming from? I don't.
Well, I found your hair in this drain.
I was working. Because I was working and I got dirty and I took a shower.
Yeah, did you take a nap too? Are you in love with him?
No. No.
Are you straight now?
No. It has nothing to do with that. I've just felt so far away from you lately.
Oh, right. So it's my fault.
No, who said anything about fault? Just listen to me.
I'm listening. What?
I just I just
What? To be fucked?
no. Appreciate it.
Well, it's always what I'm not doing for you, isn't it? Well, okay, here's what I don't do for you. I don't work out my issues by fucking other people.
He's not just other people.
No, he's our sperm donor. You couldn't have picked a more painful way to hurt me.
Where are you going?
I need water. Oh, shit.
Patricia, there's something that happens sometimes when you move where it sounds like your speakers are blowing out. It's like a kind of sound.
Oh,
Just be aware of that because it's kind of cool though when you say shit and you get up. It makes it feel violent, but throughout it was a little distracting. So so just be aware of that moving forward. I thought that was really fun, guys. Good actors, both of you. How'd that feel for you?
yeah, in and out. I could feel in and out. I was coming in and out.
How about you, Cindy?
Same thing. I mean, there was some times I just felt I always felt connected.
Good.
I was never not connected. So that's nice. I mean, I wasn't off book. So that's always like, it would have been nice to be off book. So I wasn't looking at the lines, but I know I'm getting better at that.
It's okay.
I know. But yeah, overall, a little in and out. You know, there were certain places I felt more connected than others, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you just for those of you that are watching also, the reason why however you felt isn't as relevant in this case is because you guys were always kind of doing the opposite of what the other person was doing. If she was yelling at you, you were like taking it back and calm. And if she was calm and asking a question, you were like raising your volume. It was like Abbott and Costello. You could take two actors and throw them in a scene, and as long as one's playing the opposite of what the other one is, there's conflict and contrast, and it's fun for us to watch. It's just entertaining. So, which I didn't say, that just sort of happened organically. So the scene worked regardless of whether or not you both felt in and out, just so you know. But obviously, we want to feel like you're feeling at your best the whole time, and you're always in it. You know, if you're in it, we're in it always. So. But it did work, and you'll see when you watch the class back. You guys had some really good takes. I thought the work was really good, committed. Patricia, I couldn't tell that you were really in and out. I think maybe part of it is just the technical aspect, like you said, what Cindy said about just not being off book as much. So sometimes you wanted to respond, but you didn't know the line. And those that I don't care about that. That's easy. But that's an easy fix. That's technical stuff, right? I thought it was really good work. I'm glad you guys did this. I love the scene. I thought it was really interesting, and yeah, good job. Really good job. Cool. Okay, great. Good job, guys. So yeah, give it up. Give it up. Okay, great. Who'd like to go next? Okay, good. Andy, Krista, you're up, right?
Yeah. Krista, you good for it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, great. So everyone else go ahead and mute. And it's fun when I watch it in full view because the camera cuts back and forth from both of you, and I feel like I'm watching a movie.
That's cool.
Yeah. I like that better than gallery view, actually, but.
Yeah, I'm pinning Christy right now. So.
Cool.
Yeah, let me pin you.
Yeah, you guys quickly changed your backgrounds. It looks really good, actually.
Awesome blue.
Yeah, he's got a great blue too. Cindy, same for you as well. I like that color behind you. It looked good.
Oh, that's so nice.
Is that your wall or is that a?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
weird.
I know. Like I painted it, and my father-in-law like just painted it, and my wife did. And came home, and I'm like, oh shit! Like I have this thing now. Like,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
So you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Try me.
He's already married. His wife showed up. His wife showed up at the florist when we were picking out flowers for our centerpieces.
Wow. What an asshole.
Yeah. It's my problem. I always pick losers.
Hey, you want to hear about my day? I'm walking down the street. I look up and I see this very attractive woman all by herself. And I think I've got to talk to her.
I know you're married, right? I can see your ring. Yeah, it's perfect. Actually, the last man I talked to is taken.
That may be, but I know you can use a friend. Okay? And if you jump now, it's gonna look bad in my file. Trust me. And I'll get endless grief from the guys about how I let a pretty single Chicago woman take herself off the market. Look, tell me more about yourself. Mom and dad, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, they, my dad shot himself. My mom, she well, I was 11, and my mother just
Okay. Any pets? Cat at home?
no.
Well, none of that matters.
Listen, I've already made up my mind.
No, you haven't. The fact that you waited until I got up here, the fact that you're still talking to me now, it means you're looking for a reason not to do this. Just take my hand. Good. Okay.
That's it, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Good job. Give it up. Give it up. Okay, cool. So we're gonna do this again. So this is a great scene for you guys. It's challenging in the sense that this would be a lot easier to do on the day of the shoot because you'd be on the fake ledge over at Fox, and you'd be walking, and they have the window, you have all these physical things in the environment to inform the behavior and the proximity from each other and everything. However, if you were auditioning for it, it would look like this. You'd be standing there on a piece of tape, casting's reading with you off camera, and you got to take it off the page and be free and whatnot. So this is really, really, really great. Andrew, I thought you did a really nice job working off of her. I was listening to you guys more than watching you, just to kind of hear how connected you were with what you were saying and what was going on moment to moment. I thought you both did a really nice job of just kind of finding that and letting that happen. So that being said, let's go through it again. And I want you both, especially for you, Christy, you have to keep in mind this idea of anything can happen. You know, a lot of actors, and I'm not saying you guys did this, but actors generally tend to think about what they have to say next rather than where they are right now, or what the other person is going to say next, you know? And so I want you to really just hyper focus on being right here where you are and going with whatever interests you in the moment. You can let the breathing come in your chest. And even for you too, Andrew, even though you're trying to get her back in and calm her down.
Yeah.
Again, like, she's pretty rattled up. That's why she's out there. So this is a little directorial, but the only way you're going to get her back in is if she trusts you. You have to make her feel comfortable, because you say one wrong thing, dude, she's over the ledge.
Yeah.
And Christy, like, I love the line, "I've already made up my mind." And he says, "Well, no, you haven't," whatever. I think it is a strong choice if you take these lines literally. You know, if you take them literally and that you have already made up your mind and you're not expecting to go back inside. And this is not a cry for help. You're just having a hard time going through with it right now.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, you can fill that in. But take the lines literally. Actors try to put stuff into the scene that's not there sometimes, and interpret it and, you know, figure all this stuff out. I often think characters say exactly what they mean and mean exactly what they say. And if you go with that, the audience will fill in the blanks, because your unconscious is going to be rattling around all the time. They're going to read into it all kinds of behavior that you might not even be aware of. But if you're too consciously trying to play the unconscious, it becomes very sceney. It starts to look like a scene. So be free, be where you are. And if you're here to do it, do it. Right? And then he shows up and you got to deal with that however you deal with it. Okay? Here we go.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Try me.
Right. So he was already married. Yeah. His wife showed up at the florist when we were picking out our flowers for our centerpieces.
Wow. What an asshole.
Yeah, that's my problem. I pick losers.
All right, you want to hear about my day? I'm walking down the street. I look up and I see this very attractive woman all by herself. And I think I've got to talk to her.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to stop you guys. You're doing nice. Let's go back to the beginning. Remember, Andrew. So what was interesting about both of you is, like, I knew some shit was up, but I would never get the sense that you guys are on a ledge, which is funny because the way it says, that's the way they shot the episode. It says
right.
They're talking and then the camera pulls back and you see they're standing on the ledge of a high-rise building, which is kind of crazy, like the reveal. But right from the beginning, when you said, "Tell me," it seemed like flirty and you guys were in the lounge at the office.
Mm.
All right. You've got a clock where you are and what's really going on here, right from the beginning, and where she's at, and you have a real actor in front of you, right? If you had a reader, then you could just make that up, but you do have a real actor. So check in with her. Is she happy, angry, sad, fearful, or loving?
Mm-hmm.
Is she happy? Is she angry? Is she sad? Is she fearful? Is she loving? And work off that. So there's not just what you're getting in your instincts and your arbitrariness and whatever, Andrew. It's also what's going on with your partner here.
Right.
Especially in a scene like this.
Yeah.
Especially in a scene like this. And hey, yeah, dude, you're scared too, man. I mean, you're out here literally on a ledge.
Mm-hmm.
You're the guy who went out there. You're like these, these doctors now,
Mm-hmm.
medical workers every day who have to go out with the scrubs on and putting themselves on the line every freaking day.
Yeah.
You're one of those guys because you love people and you care about people. And you're a guy who cares about people. So this is a good part for you. Here we go. Ready? All right. Action.
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Try me.
He was already married. His wife showed up when we were picking out flowers for our centerpieces.
Wow. What an asshole.
Yeah, it's my problem. I pick losers.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that, Chrissy? How's that make you feel? Your fault?
Yeah.
Say it again. Say it again.
It's my problem. I pick losers.
You want to hear about my day? I'm walking down the street. I look up. And I see this very attractive woman all by herself. I think, I've got to talk to her.
I know you're married, right? I saw the ring. That's perfect, actually. The last man that I talked to was
Look, that may be, but I know you can use a friend. And if you jump now, it's gonna look real bad in my file. Okay? Trust me. And I'll get endless grief from the guys about how I let a pretty single Chicago woman take herself off the market. Tell me more about yourself. Mom and dad, brothers and sisters.
Oh, my dad, he shot himself when I was 11. And my mom,
What about pets? Any a cat at home?
no.
Okay, well, none of that matters. None of it.
Listen, I've already made up my mind.
No. No, you haven't. Because the fact that you waited until I got up here, the fact that you're still talking to me now, it means you're looking for a reason not to do this. Just take my hand. Yeah. That's okay.
Good. Okay, good. How'd that feel for you?
It's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Feel like you were really there?
I think so.
I did, and I felt a little more resigned.
Resigned to jumping or to not jumping?
To yeah, no, more resigned to the fact that like I'm done with these guys. You know.
So what's the thing that makes you go back inside and take his hand?
I think just his consistent compassion. It's just like it just kind of changed. Because I was starting to feel like he's such a bullshit artist, and then something changed in the way he was talking.
Mm-hmm. So you just did something very interesting. I know you kind of took your glasses off and you're thinking, you can do that even though you're out on a ledge in the scene. It interestingly enough, you know, I'm not just talking about how it looks out here, but it makes you more vulnerable, both in terms of how it makes you look to me, but also how it makes you feel. When we do a physical thing, it's not just because it looks cool on camera, guys, right? Like if they tell you make eye contact or use a prop or whatever the thing is, you lean in when you say a line, those things only work when they affect you. You know, if I have you go back over a line or even slow it down, it's because of how it affects you. Wearing a piece of clothing that makes you feel a certain way for your audition. It makes you feel like the character. It's not, I don't care that you walk in looking like, you know, if you're auditioning for a detective, looking like a detective. I care that you feel like a detective. So it's a suggestion of, it doesn't have to be like you walking with, you know, a Law and Order like trench coat, you know, it's how it makes you feel. So let's just do a little pickup kind of halfway through somewhere. Why don't you take it from the section where you talk about how you, when you start asking about her family, if she's got anybody.
Middle of page 2.
Yeah. From there. And yeah, and again, I like that you took my note, Christy, and you didn't take for granted that you knew you were going to go back inside. But we still have to see, there still has to be that moment, and it could be the very end of the scene, I don't know where it happens, or the last frame where you're not going to do it. And whatever that is, I'm not going to give you what I think it should be, because I don't have an idea. There is no what it should be. It's what it happens to you. But there's a change, and you need to let that register. And you need to let him work to get you back in again, you know. And then the question for you again, Andrew, is, you know, Mike Nichols used to say, there is really only one question. And now I only bring this up after we've taken off the page a little bit and explored and we're in our instincts and we're free. Because if you're not, it's just going to get you in your head. But the one question that really does come up is, what is this really like? And I don't care if you don't know because you've never been in this situation. Use your imagination. But what would this really be like if I was trying to get somebody to talk somebody back? It's not easy. I mean, I can tell you from personal experience. It's really not easy.
Yeah. It's just
to get through to somebody who's made up their mind. And how you go about doing that. And I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and this idea, even when I'm telling you about being gentle with her, you might, and there might be moments where you're like, if you're going to just do it. Then don't fucking tell me about it. You know, maybe you're pissed off. I don't know. Because of your failure in helping her. Possibly. I don't know. You know, the average actor won't make that choice, and the director says, no, but then she's going to jump. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. I don't know. Why? Because of some convention of they think about the scene and how it's supposed to go? You don't know. People don't always respond the way you expect them to respond. Human beings are unpredictable. That's what makes it life. And it's what makes it kind of interesting. We can all agree that we're living in very exciting times right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we are definitely living in exciting times.
The least, yeah. God.
I
Here we
could be
go.
on a ledge. I could be on a ledge right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do that pickup right from middle of page 2 when you ask her about the family. Here we go.
Tell me about yourself. Mom and dad, brothers and sisters.
They, my dad shot himself when I was 11. And my mother,
A cat at home.
no.
Okay, well, none of that matters.
Listen, I've already made up my mind.
Hey, no, you haven't. No. The fact that you waited until I got up here, the fact that you're still talking to me now, it means you're looking for a reason not to do this. Just take my hand. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, good. Nice. Good job. Good, guys. Good. Christy, very nice. Very nice. Letting it go. See, each time through, you were letting the layers in, leaving yourself alone, trusting, letting it happen. Not trying to make it happen, but letting it happen. Same thing for you, Andrew. Really loose and drop in. Look, De Niro said sometimes it takes him 10 takes to get loose. Okay? One of our greatest actors. He's been doing it for 50 years. So us mere mortals need to give ourselves a break. Trust. But that's why we're here. We're here to get loose and to work out and exercise and get to the gym. Very nice. Okay, great. Is Rosie and Matthew? I see Matthew. Where's Rosie?
Thank you.
There's Rosie. Yeah, really nice. Any questions before we move on, Andrew and Christy? Any questions about the scene or anything we covered? All right, very nice work. That was a challenging scene I gave you guys. I think you really started to find some really beautiful stuff there.
Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Great, really nice. Okay, great.
George, give me 1 second. I've got to plug my computer in. My battery's running a little bit low.
No problem. So while you're doing that, can you hear me, Matthew, from where you are, or are you leaving the room?
I can hear you. Yes, indeed.
Okay, good. So just decide if you want to, sit or stand. If you're able to stand, it might be better for you. And this is a tricky scene because there's a lot of physical stuff, but you'll find a way to be free and make it work, as long as you stay in the frame. And anything can happen. You can walk off camera. You can turn your back to the camera. Like, I couldn't care less about any of that. Same thing for both of you guys. So just remember, when you get these auditions where there's all this physical stuff and it's just you standing on a piece of tape and an X, you can still find all the stuff that you can really do. There's this idea like that it's always here, and I can't move, but if you're auditioning for a juggler and who's in the circus, like, you ain't gonna be not moving a muscle through the whole scene and just staying right here. And I like when I can do something physical because it frees me up. Again, it's like the Brad Pitt thing with the eating. It tricks your brain into not thinking that this is acting. It makes you forget, and the dialogue starts to come out very free and naturally. Harold Guskin used to have me like move all around his living room before every time I would say a line. And before I would settle again, I would say the line. I would be changing positions physically, and I wouldn't have a clue what I was doing in the scene or be thinking about anything other than the fact that, all right, now I'm moving and I'm saying a line. Now I'm moving and I'm saying a line. And it just came out very natural and free. And then once I was free, I could start letting the line into my head. It started to mean something. It would start to provoke different images and thoughts and feelings. Usually an image comes before a feeling. Usually, not always. Right? An image or a thought, one and the same. But we think in pictures, remember things, particularly in pictures. Unless you're really auditory, and then maybe you hear something. But usually, I feel like pictures come in. Okay, you ready, Rosie?
Okay, let me pin Matthew here.
Yeah, good idea. And everybody else mute.
Where are you? Huh. I can't pin him on my phone. Okay, that's okay.
You can pin him on your phone. You just have to double tap, I've heard. If you double tap his box, it should automatically pin it.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
okay.
what,
Let me find his box. Where are you, Matthew? Oh,
hopefully
there
that
you are.
works.
That works. It's like a secret. All right.
Let's fuck against the window. I want the world to see you.
Carry me. I can't take it. It's too cold. My nipples are gonna freeze to this window.
I will carry you back to the bed.
Okay. Get the thing.
Oh. Shit. I'm out. We can skip it once.
Oh, jeez. No, you've been trying that line on me for like 2 decades. Literally since freshman year.
Yeah? Because it worked.
It has never worked once. Hats off to your persistence and your consistency. So is Blue Traveler still your favorite band?
Is Lucky Charms still your favorite cereal? To a quote from Pulp Fiction. You're not menopaused, are you?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm just saying you might be menopaused. In which case we don't need a thing.
We're the same age.
Well, people menopause all different times.
And can you stop saying menopaused? I'm not a DVD player.
Well, it's a really tricky situation we're finding ourselves in.
Yeah. If only $3 or $5 could solve it. Would you please draw your last vestiges of gentlemanly courtliness and go buy yourself some?
It really should be called Mena stopped, Mena paused.
It's not called either. It's not a verb.
All right. Yeah.
I have to fly home. Jachelle's hurt. I'm going on standby.
What happened?
Well, he hurt himself. He just hurt himself.
Well, we have shit to talk about. I have something I need to tell you.
Okay, what? What? Oh, you're in love with me. And you're going to leave your wife for me?
Jesus.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm stressed out about Dash. How about we just talk about it when I get to Chicago on the 14th? I have a Elle Decor shoot that weekend.
Or we could talk about it when I'm in New York at the end of May for the rest of my life. Because Lisa and I will be back there.
What?
I'm writing to Jane Seymour. Max Solder.
Wait, who's Jane Seymour?
I told you this like 8 times. He was Henry VIII, third wife. It's the YA book I've been kicking around for years.
Oh. All right. Oh, that Jane Seymour. Since when did you care about tweens? I thought you hated tweens. I actually thought you hated children in general. You literally hate all children. You're just a novelist. You won the Penn Hemingway.
When I was 26.
You and Lisa love Ann Arbor. You love your dinner parties where all your professor friends, sit around and drink absinthe cocktails and spontaneously recite Latin poetry.
We're bored. But everyone in that town is waiting to check to buy their ticket. Come on, you can't be surprised. Look, Lisa's more of a New Yorker than any of us. I mean, her mother's literally the poet laureate of New York. We made the best of it in Michigan for the past decade, and we miss everybody. You guys are like family to us.
Gross.
If you don't want me to move back, just fucking say it.
Move wherever you want. Okay. I just thought that you were an artist.
Yeah, well, I'm about to turn 40. And I have to get paid for something. I'm sick of grading 18-year-olds' essays about their eyes were watching God. Like Meg Worldser writes YA. George Saunders writes YA. J.D. Salinger writes YA. So yeah, we're doing it. We're moving.
This is over.
Yeah, obviously.
Did you just charge pay-per-view to my room?
Okay, great, guys. So that was a good rehearsal. Look, I love that you took your time. You know, this is like Meryl Streep said she hates when they come in. They wanted a video film document her in some Sam Shepard play that she did with Austin Pendleton. And she's like, no, I don't want cameras in rehearsal. It's like surgery. You're walking in. It's process is like sticky and it's ugly and whatever. That's really what we're doing with this. You know, it's not. But I love that we're going to do it again, and things are going to be gelling even more together now. Matthew, is there a way, I like that I could see your whole body now, that's great. But can you get a little bit tighter, like in a medium shot, like waist up maybe?
Yeah, well, what I can do is I can just, I think that to do that and I had to sit down, which is.
That's fine. You're good right there. That looks good.
Considering that's the first time I ever read those words out loud, sitting down against. Probably a good idea.
No. It's fine. I want you to. I want you to take the time that you need to take.
Sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, you were taking off the page and taking in pieces. Yeah, there you go. So I don't want you to have too much attention on the camera. The camera is where it is, just like in an audition. Now there are two different scenes, obviously, but it's kind of like a quick sequence. Even in the script, they go one after the other. So.
Right.
All right. So let's go through it again and just trust and explore. Very nice, both of you. Really nice, good connection. I felt you weren't being careful. You had an impulse, you did it. You know, physical stuff, behavior, everything was happening throughout it. So just trust yourselves. It's a new take, a new unit of time. And, you know, and I liked, again, the exploration and the arbitrary stuff. Again, it's as long as that relationship is crystal clear, I think, for you, Matthew, you're going to not come across like a dick. Even if you come across like a dick, you'll still be likable. As long as we know that you like her and you care and that the playfulness is banter, which I got. Yes. Which was really great. And you got, that's the only thing you really need to hook in on this. And then you can do whatever the hell you want and it's great. So just keep trusting your instincts and exploring. You know, you can have fun and you can't go too far with something like this. It gives you a lot of permission. All right. Same thing for you, Rosie. Like, you guys know each other forever. You go back to college, you know, it's like, you know, he was your college, like, you know, what do they call it? I don't know, whatever that term is.
Buddy?
Your friend with benefits.
Friends with benefits?
Yeah, your friend with benefit, your college booty call, whatever. All right.
All right.
Okay, here we go, guys. Everybody pay attention.
Let's fuck against the window. I want the world to see you.
That could carry me. I can't take it. This is too cold. My nipples are just freezing to the window.
I'll carry you back to the bed.
Okay, get the thing.
Huh?
Get the thing.
Oh, yeah. Shit! I'm out.
What? You've been trying that line since for 2 decades, literally since we were freshmen.
Yeah, because it works.
Wait, say it again. What was the line, Matthew? Say it to her again.
Yeah, because it works.
No, before that. Why don't we just what?
I'm out. We can skip once.
Yeah, there you go.
You've been trying that line for 2 decades. Literally since we were freshmen.
Yeah, because it works.
Never worked once. But you know what? Hats off to you for your persistence and your consistency. You know, is Blue Traveler still your favorite band?
Is Lucky Charms still your favorite cereal?
Good. Let's go through that and work that sequence a little bit. Let's do it again. That was great. Just take it up, and then yeah, you know what you mean about all this, Rosie, right? So this is your thing. Quick, witty college banter. These are the things that you listen to back from freshman year of college. All right, here we go.
Exactly.
From where?
Take it back from let's just do it when you say let's just go for it or I'm out or whatever, Matthew. I'm out.
Oh, okay.
We can skip it once.
Hi, you've been trying that line for about 2 decades now. Literally since we were freshmen.
Yeah, because it works.
Hold on. Let that in a little bit more, Rosie. Take it, give it to her again before you go to the you've been trying. Like really clock what he just said. Okay?
I'm out. We can skip it once.
You've been trying that line for like 2 decades since we were freshmen.
Yeah, because it works.
You know, it hasn't worked once.
Oh.
But hats off to you for your persistency or your persistence and your consistency. Huh. So is Blue Traveler still your favorite band?
So is Lucky Charms still your favorite cereal? You still quote from Pulp Fiction? Wait. You're not menopaused, are you?
What is wrong with you?
No, I'm just saying that you might be menopaused. In which case, we don't need it.
Oh, we're the same age.
Well, people menopause at all different times.
Can you just stop saying menopaused? I'm not a DVD player.
This is a really tricky situation we're finding ourselves in.
Yeah. If only $3 to $5 could solve it. Will you please draw up your last vestige of gentlemanly courtliness and go buy them for yourself?
It really should be called Menace Stop.
You know what? It's not called either. It's not a fucking verb.
Just say that without putting anything on it again, Rosie. Give him that line again.
Which line?
It's called Menace Stop. Pause.
It's not called either. It's not a verb. I have to fly home. Deshell hurt himself, so I'm going on standby.
What happened?
He hurt himself. He just he hurt himself.
We have shit to talk about. I gotta tell you something.
Huh. Oh, what? Oh, that you're in love with me and you're gonna leave your wife for me.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. I'm stressed out, you know, Dash. How about we just talk when I'm in Chicago on the 14th? I have that Elle Decor shoot that weekend.
Or we could talk about it when I'm in New York in the end of May. For the rest of my life. Lisa and I are moving back to New York.
What?
No, I'm writing my Jane Seymour novel. Max sold it.
Who's Jane Seymour?
Come on, I've told you this like 8,000 times. She's the third wife of Henry VIII. It's my YA novel. I've been kicking it around for years.
Jeez. Oh, right. Oh, Jane Seymour. Ah. Wait, since when did you care about tweens? Like, I thought you hated tweens. I thought you hated all children in general. You hate all children. Like, you're a novelist. You win the Penn Hemingway.
When I was 26.
Well, you and Anne love, I mean, you and Lisa, you love Ann Arbor. You love all your dinner parties, you know, with your professor friends who sit around and drink absinthe cocktails and recite spontaneously Latin poetry.
Yeah, we're bored. Everyone in that town is waiting for their ticket out.
What?
Come on, you can't be surprised. Lisa's more of a New Yorker than any of us. I mean, her mom is the poet laureate of New York, for God's sake. We made a go of it in Michigan for a decade. We miss everybody. You guys are like family to us.
Gross.
Look, if you don't want me to move back to the town where you live, just say it.
Just move wherever you want. I just thought you were an artist.
Yeah? Well, I'm about to turn 40 and I have to get paid. I'm sick of grading 19-year-olds' essays on their eyes were watching God. Meg Wurlitzer writes YA.
Okay.
Saunders writes YA. J.D. Salinger YA. Oh yeah. Now we're doing it. We're moving.
Well, this is over.
Obviously.
Did you really just charge pay-per-view to my room?
Okay, good. Good, guys. Good. Good adjustments, Matthew, on the second time through. I saw similar things hitting you both times, Rosie, and it was nice. You had a lot of really, really funny moments. The best, so in the beginning, when you start talking about the Pulp Fiction, the Blues Travelers, and that little sequence there, I think that for you is like the best kind of area where to really find like kind of the relationship. It seemed a little angry for you, Rosie, and I know it's hard to not be because he says a lot of things that are really provocative, and the situation overall is a little frustrating. But again, you still do like, you guys, this is like the game that you guys have with each other and you like each other. You know what I mean? So we're not gonna do the whole thing again because it's a pretty long sequence, but let's just do the first 2 pages. And I just wanna like see if we can explore that a little bit, okay? So even though there's all this physical stuff going on, once you know that it's like not happening and you get into the sort of the argument stuff, it's like it's so typical, this guy. Like you hate him, but you can't help but love him, and you love him, but you can't help but hate him. It's like he's just unbelievable to the point where you can't even get that pissed. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Does that make sense, or did I confuse you? Maybe too much.
No, it makes sense.
Basically,
But
just,
you,
yeah.
so when you say it's angry, so it's, I hate to use
It
this
seemed like you were
word, but
frustrated for 75% of the scene, and it felt real. But I think we have to explore some other colors within that.
okay.
And sometimes I saw you, and I'm not trying to make you self-conscious or anything, and this isn't like one of those Matt things, not this Matt, the other Matt, where like you were sighing a lot before you started speaking. And it came from a real place because you were frustrated, but it also showed me that you were a little stuck.
Okay.
So I want you to just let go of that and just let it happen, and whatever happens, happens, okay? It felt real. It wasn't like acting or anything, but sometimes, you know, it just was something that, you know, have a point of view. You don't have to like show me your point of view. If you're frustrated, you're frustrated. But let it go. And again, the thing to really think about isn't don't sigh. The thing to think about is how do you feel about this guy? And let your instincts take you where they take you based on that. What is this really like? You know what I mean? This kind of relationship. Relationship is the only thing that, in terms of thinking, that I really like to ask myself. It is a lifeline. If the relationship's clear, all those other things light up like a Christmas tree. And then no one will ever say, well, what's your objective? And what are you planning? All those are questions that I hate. Okay. And yeah, Matt, I think you took that note great. So again, let's just keep going. And I love the playfulness. Just keep exploring. It's another unit at a time, another moment. And yeah, and at the beginning of the scene, I know there's a lot going on, but once brakes get put on everything, don't be afraid to really sometimes you guys can just be there with each other and take each other in. I saw you doing that, but I want to give you permission to do even more of that if that interests you. Okay, Matthew?
The obligation to have to make it interesting again.
Yeah, or to keep it going, or to keep the pace because it's comedy and like, you know, This isn't about making the scene work. You guys are all talented actors. I could give all you guys a little piece of direction, you'll make the scene work. That's easy. Yep. Dustin Hoffman said that's what all good actors do. They come in and they already like have attention on making the scene work. But when they just let go of that, then we really see them. Okay? So remember, It's never what you think it is. Now, that being said, I gave you all these freaking notes. It's never what you think it is, and anything can happen. Throw it all away. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Let's fuck against the window. I want the world to see you.
Yeah, good.
All right, carry me. Oh! God, it's so cold. I can't take it.
I'll carry you back
Oh,
to
my
the bed.
nipples are going to freeze.
I'll carry you back to the bed.
Okay. Okay, go get the thing.
Shit. I'm out.
Huh?
We can skip it once.
You've been trying that line for about 2 decades. Literally, since freshman year.
Yeah, because it works.
Never worked once. But hats off to your persistence and your consistency. So is Blue Travelers still your band of choice?
Is Lucky Charms still your favorite cereal?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You still quoting from Pulp Fiction?
You're not menopaused, are you?
What is wrong with you?
No. No, yeah, I'm just saying that you might be menopaused, in which case we don't need a thing.
Wow, can you just stop saying menopaused? I'm not a DVD player.
People menopause at all different times.
We're the same age. Yeah.
This is a really tricky situation we find ourselves in, huh?
Uh-huh. If only $3 to $5 could solve it.
Mm.
Will you just please draw upon your last vestige of gentlemanly courtliness and go buy yourself some?
Oh, give it up. Good. That was beautiful. You guys actually, Rosie, you took that note and just went to the moon with it, but it was loose. It was free. You were letting it happen. Same thing with you, Matt. I felt the moments happening more. You were letting it go and just letting it happen more. And, I just thought you guys both really nailed that to the wall. But and it worked because you weren't really trying to make it work. You just were letting each other in. There was just a really nice thread, even though we're online here virtually. You guys had a great connection to each other. It was incredible. So really, really in real time, it's like, nice job. And you'll see, when you record this, you guys are both going to get it. Rose is going to send everyone a copy, Matt. And
Awesome.
Yeah, so you'll see kind of how it cuts back, and it's voice activated, so it'll look like it's a movie. It's going to go back and forth between the two of you. There's a little bit of a lag when the first person starts talking, but it's not a big deal. You'll still get the gist of it. So I know we ran a little over, guys. It was such a great group, and I can't thank you enough for bringing your talent, your energy, and coming out to play with me here today, and entrusting me to guide you with your gifts, with your art. And this is great that we can do this. Before we end off, though, Why don't everybody take mute off for a second here? I'm going to put you all in gallery view so we can all be on the Brady Bunch. And yeah, just any questions or anything anybody'd like to say before we kind of sign off, or just kind of review like what you got out of today? Maybe a quick round the horn. Christy, you want to what did you get out of today's class?
Let's see. I think it was easy for me to change when you gave me the notes. It made sense to me. And I think when we first started and you had me just kind of reiterate that first line, that it kind of reset the way I was thinking going in.
Mm-hmm.
That helped. And you did that also with the monologue. And so I'll remember that.
Yeah, sometimes going back just really helps, like you said, reset. Because whatever the thing that's we're doing to get in our own way gets removed. So the thing to really do is, I guess, just to take a look at it, whether it's just maybe taking a breath before you start next time, and just kind of looking at that line and giving yourself permission to take your time so that you can let it in without getting ahead of yourself. And not feeling like, okay, I got to start, but I'm not ready. There really is no ready. It's just accepting that wherever you are is where you are, and then looking down at that line and letting it really in. But you have to give yourself time. You can't feel like there's a gun to your head and that like there's a starter pistol and you need to start running. The pistol fired. So you really have to. And casting understands that. A lot of times they'll say whenever you're ready. Okay, whenever you're ready. It doesn't mean we take like 10 minutes, but but we have time, and if you really are wherever you are, even if the cameras are rolling, they're not going to know whether this is part of the scene or not anyway. Some actors, again, like Brando, they don't have to start acting just because they say action. You know what I mean? Cool. Cindy.
Just working those muscles, really the muscles of trust. Because for me, that's really what I'm doing all the time, is working that trust, and letting go and being free in the work. Because I'm a pretty type A, so it's taken me a lot of work to let go of perfectionism, and and for me, letting go of, I don't know what my next line is. I just love this work because it's easy for me to just let go, just work in the always.
Awesome. Yeah. No, and you're doing that. I see you doing that. It's really exciting. It's fun. It's fun to watch. Especially, yeah. No, it was great. Really good work today. Okay, cool. I'm going to just keep going around my Brady Bunch boxes. Patricia, I'm going like in a line.
Yeah, I would just piggyback on what Cindy was saying, is still trying to give yourself permission, the freedom to explore and just let it go where it goes. And I think watching Rosie and Matthew, also watching them do that kind of made it bring it more home to me. Also bringing in the physicality, that also is another avenue to go down, as far as getting the freedom to just sort of let the lines go where they go while you're doing, or while you're being, or while, just by looking at them, the more they were more physical, the more they seem to have more freedom of expression. And I don't really, I think I said, I don't do much from the neck down. So that would be a challenge for me, is to get more physical while I'm doing a scene.
Yeah. Stillness is great, but again, we even work on that so we can be free. And there can be all these things happening here that we don't even see. And the reason that we move is really for us. It's not for the audience, so that we're alive. And it's not, life isn't always this. You know what I mean?
It is lately, but yeah.
This lights up because of what is going on between our ears.
Yeah.
But there's still like the body. The first thing about it in life, the first thing that anyone does, even before technically life begins, before we come out, is movement. Not speech. Whether or not there's thoughts, that's no one will ever know, but babies move. They move around inside. They come out and they're still moving around, and they crawl before they talk. They move and they roll and they climb, and So movement, if we stop moving, in a way, we stop living. Okay, Rosie.
Oh, you know, just practicing, being repetitive with everything that we do here, and just trying to create a, I don't want to say a format, but like a system to follow for myself, you know, and that's,
it's a workflow.
it's, yes, you know, all teachers teach differently. And I'm lucky enough to like do other things too, but to just be able to, you know, work it here and then take that and try it in other classes and see that does work if you just open yourself up to the you know, moments and be ready for them to come in and kind of jump on it. So I really do love playing like this. You know, it's brand new each time. Like each time working, you know, the scene, I did forget what's coming, you know, I wouldn't think what's coming up next. In other, before I would always think that, you know, just be prepared and I'd be, you know, kind of in this box, but it's very different now. It's fun. Every moment's fun. So, I really love, thank you for all this.
Yeah, no, thank you. It was great. Thanks for playing. It was fun. And doing everything that I suggested. You don't have to. Look, if I suggest something, it doesn't work for you guys, I don't really care. I want you to be free and do what interests you. But I love when you do try it, because a lot of times it does work. And so I appreciate you being opening to play and trusting me. Matt.
Yeah, I'd say everything everybody has said already. You know, it's just, you know, I know how to let myself trust my instincts, but I also am a very analytical, heady person, and so I can get locked. I've done theater for many years. I can get locked into choices, and they stop working. And you know, it's like, oh, I like that choice, and I you know, I find a score for the scene in a way, and you know, and it worked for a while, and then there comes a point where it's like you go, oh, I'm not really alive anymore, and I'm putting expectation on myself to hit that note, so to speak, that I've sculpted. So,
I have a suggestion for you regarding that. I don't think you're wrong to find the music in it or the rhythm in the scene. You know, I think every scene has its own intrinsic rhythm, and every actor has their own rhythm, and different characters and the writing can provoke what that rhythm is. So I think it's great when you find that music and that rhythm. I think the trap is when we start to, like you said, we start playing the rhythm exclusively at the expense of allowing what we mean to lead us to the next thought. If you really let what you mean, you let the thought in, and you let whatever those words provoke in you and what you mean lead you to the next piece, you'll always stay in the moment and not get ahead of yourselves, and it'll be fresh and spontaneous. The problem is we start to stop doing that, and we start to just get into this rhythm of the acting without all that other, and that other stuff can drop out, or we take it for granted, you know, or we lock it in. Like you said, we set things in a way. But if the thing that made it work and made the choice work initially wasn't setting anything, it came out of what the moment meant to you and what that line provoked in you.
Right.
Whatever that thought is. The feelings are infinite and fluid. There's fluidity with the feelings, but generally I think the thoughts can stay consistent, and even if they're not, the line is consistent, and whatever they provoke each time through can be infinite. So if we're just always going back, again, it's always about us and the text, us and that text, us and that text. The text is all we need, because everything is in those words and in the moment in real time. And I think if you just continually go back to, because I've gotten that note before, like I did a self-tape, I didn't have much time to work on it. And I really was proud of just like how loose I felt. And I wasn't adding, but it was kind of slow. And I remember somebody gave me that note, and they're like, it looked like I was waiting around too much rather than letting what I meant let me to the next thought. So there was no rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And the rhythm really does come from just meaning and taking that one step at a time. I have to say, so Matthew just got the scene like maybe an hour before class. I don't even know, how many times did you look at it before we jumped online? Once, yeah. Well, I love that you just took your time and you took it off the page. You didn't rush and get ahead of yourself. You didn't try to do a cold reading with it. You didn't try to make it work so much. I know you were a little bit, there was some attention on that, but for the most part, you were smart enough to not get ahead of yourself and to just take it for what it was and take it in pieces and take your time and really use this time for yourself and be like that and not have an expectation that I got to keep it moving or got to keep, that's something I hope if you guys, anybody was watching that, if they saw that, that was something I really want to highlight that Matthew was doing. That I think was really smart and really helpful. You know, partially it's because he had less time than everybody else. So he didn't have any other choice because you can't know what you don't know in the material, which is why I give those monologues out at the beginning of every class, because you can't know what you don't know. So you're forced to just respond in the moment with whatever you get. You can't plan it. And so I really want to just like acknowledge you for that, Matt. I thought that was really, really good. And that shows a level of trust, you know. Andy.
Yeah, so I love doing this class because it kind of adds an extra layer of nerves that I know I have to work through. So you know, like I've gotten used to a certain extent, like, you know, getting in front of this with George, just, you know, one-on-one lesson and everything. But, you know, everyone here, it's almost like a reset, right? It's like learning it all over again. And so this opportunity, like, it's been such a good opportunity to sit down with that and like kind of, it's extra practice, like discerning what I'm really feeling versus what, like, that judgmental mind that keeps persisting, and just always trying to reset with the breath. And that's just been good practice. So
Awesome. Awesome. And yeah, no, I thought good. I thought that was really good that you were doing that. And I saw you kind of working through it and
yeah, right. Yeah.
taking notes of, okay, well, you know, and again, that's part of why we're here. It's like doing the flight simulator. We're jumping out of an airplane on Sundays.
Yeah.
That's what's great about it is, like, you know, this isn't a class where you get it and you have to do 20 hours of rehearsal and then come in and everything perfect and neat. And it's like, okay, here's your scene. It's Friday night, 9 o'clock, boom, see you Sunday. And then you're like, what? I got this huge scene. So, you know,
so fun.
Whether it's just about exploring and trusting that everything that happens to you is usable and building confidence in yourself so that you can act the phone book if you have to, because really you're enough. You know? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I'm sorry we ran a lot over today. Usually this class is over by 1 o'clock, but thank you for being here with me, and enjoy the rest of your Sundays. And we'll be back on. Are we on next Sunday again, or the week after, Rosie? Next Sunday is not a holiday, is it? Okay, great. So we're back on next Sunday. Yeah, I don't think anybody here has signed up for it yet. If you want to, sign up as first come, first serve. And again, we limit it to 8, and scheduled time will be 1 o'clock next week. I promise I'll pace it a little better. All right, guys.
It's great. Thanks.
So,
Thanks, George.
yeah, my pleasure. Take care, guys.
Good work, everyone.
Everyone, thanks.
Bye.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye.
So jealous. Thanks, Rosie, for organizing this.
Yeah, thanks, Rosie.
Bye.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
And emails should go out soon.
Perfect.